Kawhi proved himself. This is his league, at least on the court. But what was crazy about the Clippers situation, right now it's Kawhi's league on and off the court. That was a Kaiser Sose move from the usual suspects. Oh, friendly Kawhi and everything's nice. Oh, what a aw shucks guy, right? Very quiet, keeps to himself. Maybe he'll join the Lakers. Nah. That was a power move.
You think that was a setup?
Silent assassin.
Yes. I think Kawhi always wanted to go to the Clippers. He wanted to go back to L.A., but not to the Lakers.
Yeah.
Not to do what already's been done by so many. He very quietly let it. Maybe Toronto has the best chance to get it. Maybe the Lakers do. And while all that's happening, he's on the phone recruiting Paul George to the Jerry West, Doc Rivers Clippers. This is, at this moment, now LeBron has a chance to flip it again this season, but at this moment, this is Kawhi Leonard's league, and he does it without making a peep. He does it. It's the ones you don't see coming that you got to worry about. That's Kawhi Leonard.
Max, I've never seen a player in the NBA rise this fast. And I understand I'm speaking about a guy who's a finals MVP, due to many 50-win seasons in San Antonio. But you got to dissect the last 3 years of what Kawhi Leonard has done. Spurs, thrown under every bus imaginable, scrutinized, soft, weak, doesn't speak, whatever it is. Gets moved, sent as far away as he can be sent. Goes to Toronto, wins the championship in the first year. Toronto had a heck of a team, but no one can deny that Kawhi Leonard, with the performance that he just had, arguably one of the greatest playoff performances ever, and the numbers back it up. Michael Jordan, LeBron James only behind those guys. In the third year, as you brought up, he sneaks it out from literally nobody could have seen. Demanding Paul George come over. He comes to the Clippers, holds the Lakers at bay, holds Toronto at bay, holds the Laker free agents at bay, okay? Maybe the Lakers could have went out and got a couple other guys or different guys, but they had to hold everything off. So when you look at what he's done, I've just never seen anyone rise to the top this fast.
Well, you thought it was fast. I did not think it was fast. He was a baby when he got to the Spurs. And would he have been as great without Popovich? I don't believe so. Look, Tom Brady's the GOAT in football, right? Would he have been the GOAT had he not wound up with Belichick? No. He'd have been a great player, but not the GOAT. Kawhi Leonard was going to be an excellent player no matter what. Would he ever rise to this level without having come up in that? No, I don't think so. Nevertheless, he turned in first to a defensive stopper, then into a finals MVP and an all-star for being as much a LeBron stopper as one could be. Then the best player on a Spurs playoff team that, by the way, was up 23 points at the half on the fully loaded Golden State Warriors before he gets hurt, and then the Spurs collapse. They weren't going to beat the Warriors. But the point was, totally different team with and without him. Then to Toronto, where he's finally healthy again, proves himself with load management, near MVP, and when it mattered most, best player in the league. So I see Kawhi as a slowly ascending player to this point. I don't see him as just like an overnight success story.
When I said, look at LeBron. When LeBron was in Cleveland, he needed the team. It took time. He had to find out how to win. Goes to Miami, gets around some great players, good coaching, great organization, wins in Miami. Learns the game. Now he goes back to Cleveland, gets his ring, does everything he needs to do, sets records, history, whatever you name it. And then after that, LeBron goes to L.A. Took time. Kevin Durant couldn't get it done in OKC. Goes, gets his rings, gets his credit, his status up. Now KD goes to get his own ring. Kawhi did this in 3 years, bro.
Yeah.
This was a process for everybody. And then,
well, him getting hurt kind of obscured it because all of a sudden he's on his way and then he's taken out of the picture for a minute.
I don't think he ever does it in San Antonio. And I think it was absolutely masterful beyond the injuries to actually get out of San Antonio. Players don't leave San Antonio.
Right.
Tim didn't leave, Manu, Tony, and you can say these are different players.
And he got to where he wanted to be, which is insane. And by the way, taking on LeBron, not KD joining the 73-win Warriors team. This is him saying, okay, 48-win team. I need another star with me, but I'm going to take on LeBron head-to-head basically every night at Staples Center and see who the best is. He's trying to earn it toe-to-toe, like LeBron is Ali and he's Joe Frazier, and he's trying to take the crown the old-fashioned way. He's trying to earn it. That is something kind of we haven't seen in a minute in the NBA.
I hadn't compared anything to LeBron. I'll be honest. What LeBron has done on the court and off the court, from his play, I don't even want to say the agency, but surrounding himself with good people, Rich Paul, David Griffin, obviously the things that Tyronn Lue has done. He's given himself a system. And KD hadn't. Listen, Kawhi just did that.
Well,
Kawhi
engineered it. You know who I would – I know, like, when I say Dak Prescott reminds me of Tom Brady. Well, Tom Brady didn't run down, but I'm talking about in a different sense. Game manager, big on third down, good under pressure, and then eventually Tom Brady turned into Tom Brady. Russell Wilson turned into – I see Dak in that kind of lineage. I got a guy to compare Kawhi to that I don't think enough people think about because they play such different positions. He reminds me in certain ways of Olajuwon. Because Olajuwon got into the league as a kind of black hole kind of player. The ball goes to him, he's going to try and score it, right? And he was really good at it. And a great defensive player. But by the time Olajuwon was in the mature phase of his career, he became a much better passer. He was not a good passer when he got to the league. He became better. The one criticism of Kawhi's game at this point, which I think is legitimate, is he's not an elite passer. Like KD you saw in the playoffs when he just played those 12 or 14 minutes, whatever. Yes, the scoring, but even the passing. KD has really his overall.
Absolutely.
And Kawhi's passing has lagged other areas of his game. However, this season, I saw real improvement in that category. So he reminds me of Olajuwon in that sense. Like, if Kawhi gets to be a really good passer, who is going to be better than him over the next 3 or 4 years?
And as a former player, I always think of guys that are aware of their surroundings. And sometimes great players or players they get tunnel vision. What I have to do as a player, how can I be successful? This is all I think about. This guy is seeing himself, his improvement, the coach, the organization. He went and sat with Doc Rivers. He held the Clippers at bay. He had them at gunpoint. Said, "Yo, go get Paul George. Go get Paul George or I'm not coming." Nobody needs to know about this. Magic ain't knowing. Genie ain't knowing. Toronto ain't knowing. Drake ain't knowing. Go get me Paul George and I'm coming. And they made this happen. I mean, literally, it was ridiculous. And I think about the deal. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander
is a real good player, by the way. He's going to be a real good player.
I know the Clippers didn't want to let that kid go.
Not.
And it had to be, it was one way or the other, but Kawhi put himself in that situation.
This is not just, let's form a super team. This is a 48-win team that beat a fully loaded Golden State team with a healthy KD in his prime going bananas on the league, like berserk, right? They won 2 games from that team. Now, take that team, take off Gallinari and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and replace those two who are very good players.
Yeah.
Alexander, ascending, and Gallinari already good. Replace those two with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George on a fully functioning unit with Doc Rivers as the coach. It's a problem.
And even his run through the East, Philadelphia, Jimmy Butler, Embiid, Simmons, then guards Giannis. Yeah, literally, listen, we're hard on Giannis. There was nobody guarding him. Look, there were centers that couldn't guard Giannis or stop him from getting to the paint. And he guarded him and was a playmaker.
Well, to be fair to Giannis, that was a team concept. But when Kawhi was on him, Giannis was not getting anything.
Even in a team concept, that man couldn't be stopped. When you looked at the Boston Celtics, they had to put 4 or 5 guys in the paint, and then they start kicking the ball around the horn, knocking down 3-pointers. Giannis had been unguardable.
LeBron did it for a minute in Miami. But who since – and Kobe did it when it mattered most. But Kawhi is like those guys in the sense that not only is he the focal point of your offense, and he's very efficient and he's clutch, but then defensively, he will take on the best player on the other team. And we just said Giannis is really a 5 more than anything. He takes on even a physical mismatch, and you cannot do a better job than what Kawhi does.
Defensively, I would say for a player of his caliber, it's not even smart for him to be guarding the other player. You need him on offense. So the way he played both sides of the ball, I could argue he's the greatest two-way player defender of all time. I have not seen a guy literally go from guarding Giannis to LeBron to KD to any of these guys.
Well, LeBron did it in Miami at his best. LeBron was, but he wasn't as intense a defender as Kawhi.
LeBron is capable. Kawhi
does it every night. He does it every night.
You hit Kawhi, he's not going. LeBron's smart. He's managing his minutes, and Kawhi's a guy who went out and did it, not even healthy on one leg, bro. And we want to say, the first goal.
By the way, that's a good point. Throughout those playoffs, Kawhi wasn't healthy. Kawhi was hopping around on a pogo stick.
Hey, Max, load management.
Yeah, you're right.
Load management.
You're right.
He's changing the game.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, the Clippers are definitely going to be a fun team to watch this season, and with the addition of both Kawhi and PG-13, the Clippers become just the second team in NBA history to add 2 25-point-per-game players in a single offseason.
And it's also
not bad.
The last time you had, like, look at the time when teams who were already cohesive units had 2 attack dogs on offense who were also that way on defense, who were wing players. The Bulls, Jordan and Pippen, how did that work out? The Heat, LeBron and Wade, how did that work out? And however you think Kawhi and Paul George's skills are pitched compared to those guys, 2 wing players who play both ways like these two in their physical primes.
So that's a good point. But one thing you're always going to hear me harp on the way you win today, defense and versatility. You got 2 guys who can literally guard 1 through 5, guard any position. They're going to be taking turns. Who wants LeBron? You got him? Who wants AD? You got him? They're going to be switching off. And these guys can shoot the 3, go get it off the bounce, and defend. They play both ways. You literally couldn't have a more ideal situation.
What about the passing? See, Kawhi's passing has come along, but he's still not an elite level passer.
I would challenge the Clippers starting 5 if I want to say there's a problem there. Doc Rivers is going to have to scheme some real points because Pat's a decent passer. Paul George a little improved, but it's not natural for either of those guys. But defensively,
by the way, you just mentioned Patrick Beverly too.
Well, let's wrap this segment up because we have some more basketball to talk about next segment. Coming up on First Take, Coach K says Zion Williamson was out of shape and should not have played in the Summer League. Are the guys worried about Zion's health? That debate is next. Keep it locked right here on First Take.
King served people his new $1 crispy taco.
Burger King taco. I didn't know they made tacos.
It's super crispy.
It definitely hits the spot. It's a flavorful taco. You mean to tell me it's only $1?
Talk about a surprise. It's Burger King's new $1 crispy taco. Only at Burger King.